at it again, and we have one from Liberty Hangout. I'm sure this is going to be crazy. Let's dive in.
You knew that Trump increased annual spending to HBCUs, and you still called him a racist.
Yes. Let me ask, what has he said to make...
Hold on, wait. If that's an indication of where this video is going, whoa. I am about to be extremely frustrated listening to this conversation. Yeah, this is... Get your popcorn ready, all right? Grab a snack of your choice, a little drink, kick back and relax. This is about to be crazy. Run that back.
And you still called him a racist.
Yes. Let me ask, what has he said to make him racist? Like, what definitive proof gives you the idea that he's racist?
People don't have to explicitly say I am racist for you to know that they're racist. Do you want me to find stuff to back it up? Because, like, I just don't know it off the top of my head.
I'm a Mexican. Like, I'm half Mexican, half white, and I support Donald Trump. I mean, everybody...
Shout out to Caitlin. Make sure y'all go show her some love. Let her know we appreciate her, all right?
He's saying, oh, he hates Mexicans. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
Well,
like,
there's a girl who said that he hates Mexicans. I would love to bring her back up here. There she is. Would you be willing to talk to her?
I'll talk to her, yeah. Hi, I'm Sloan.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, there we go. So,
another indication of where this conversation is going to go. All right. Okay. That was awkward.
Sloan.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, there we go. So he heard the conversation we were having where you said that maybe Donald Trump might be a little bit racist because of his treatment of Mexicans.
Right. I was talking about like minorities in general, not just. I just want to make that clear. I was talking about minorities in general, not just Mexicans.
Right. But we've specifically talked about the border wall and him
his
saying
immigration policies. Yes.
Yes. So this gentleman over here.
How is a wall the R word? Could someone break that one down to me? Genuinely, how do you go from a wall to the R word? How do they connect? Please let me know in the comment section. Maybe there's something that I'm not thinking of.
Doesn't agree with you, and he's half Mexican. Do you want to give her your side?
I think it's ridiculous to say, like, just like all cops are bad, obviously not all cops are bad, saying all criminals are black, or not all criminals are black, saying that all Mexicans are bad, like, they're not, like, that's not what he believes, because everybody's side is guilty of pulling everybody into one group and generalizing and saying all these people are bad, all this. But everybody knows that's not what you mean. Like, whenever like people on the left say all cops are bad, do they mean it? Do they mean every single cop is bad?
Well, and talking about that point, Donald Trump was specifically talking about MS-13 gang members. He was not talking about Mexicans. That's not what his goal was. Do you believe in that too? That he was talking about the gang members? I don't know if you watched that clip.
It's very obvious. Like, whenever someone says generalizing, they're really not. Like, you can say Mexicans, but it's obviously you don't mean all Mexicans. And there's an understanding that's there to be had that I think goes over a lot of people's heads when stuff like that is said.
I think though too, you must acknowledge that, like, as I'm assuming, are you half Mexican and half white? Okay, so I feel like you need to acknowledge that your experience as a half-white Mexican might be a little bit different than someone's like someone who's full Mexican. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
whoa. All right, so hold on. Let's take a closer look at this gentleman. All right, I want to take a closer look at him. Let's be honest. All right, let's take a poll in the comment section. If you saw this gentleman walking the street, and obviously you can only see the top part of his face, but if you saw him walking the street, would you think he was white? Let me know in the comment section. You just saw him walking, no mask, just walking down the street. Would you think he was white? I would say no, personally. So her statement, you have to admit that because you're half white, your experience has been different. So do you think people are just walking around taking DNA tests to folks? Excuse me, sir. Hold on. Let me check and see how much white you got in your blood. Give me a second. You know? It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Though, too, you must acknowledge that, like, as I'm assuming, are you half Mexican and half white? Okay, so I feel like you need to acknowledge that your experience as a half-white Mexican might be a little bit different than someone's like someone who's full Mexican. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
what about my mom? My mom is completely Mexican. She was born and raised in San Diego. Her parents are first generation that came here. She was like dirt poor, worked everything her entire life. You know where she went? She went to Harvard. She got into Harvard off of working. She got into Harvard off of working. That's a role model for me, because my mom, who started from nothing, who's a Mexican, who's had literally nothing, worked her entire life to get me where I am, and she's not half white, and she supports Donald Trump.
I don't get your point. Like, what does that have to do with Donald Trump?
My point is,
his point is, you just accused him of being half white so that his experience or his view of things is skewed. So he just gave you an example of someone who is full Mexican, been dirt poor, grandparents are first generation, that supports Trump. So he just refuted your entire argument.
I am, and she's not half white, and she supports Donald Trump.
I don't get your point. Like, what does that have to do with Donald Trump?
My point is that regardless if I'm half white, half Mexican, like full Mexican, it doesn't matter. You can still see the stuff that goes on and it doesn't hinder you.
I still don't get like how that portrays to you not thinking Trump is racist.
The point is, and hopefully I can help bridge the gap here, the point that he's saying is, you said that his experience isn't the same as a Mexican, a full-blooded Mexican, because he's half white. He just told you his mom is full Mexican, a first-generation immigrant. She came here poor. Stop me if I'm wrong, but I'm going off of what you said. Yeah. Poor, had nothing. She came here as an immigrant. She went to Harvard. She worked her ass off and went to Harvard. Her being brown didn't stop her. Is that what you're trying to say?
There's an American dream that's meant to be had.
No, I completely understand. Like, my parents are 100% Puerto Rican. They came here and they built their own lives. Like, I completely get what you're saying. But I don't think that just because your mom had a good experience with her immigration, like bless her, like I'm happy that she had a good experience and she was able to give you the life that you have. You go to UCF, that's amazing. I do think, however, that has nothing to do with whether or not Trump is racist. Like, the fact that your mom had a good life, that doesn't mean that Trump isn't racist.
Let me ask, what has he said to make him racist? Like, what definitive proof gives you the idea that he's racist?
People don't have to explicitly say I am racist for you to know that they're racist.
Okay, but what has he done?
His speeches talking about immigration, the way he talks about Mexicans, the way he talks about black people at these protests, the way he talks about Hispanic people, the way he talks about women, I just personally do not think it's okay. And if you want me to like get it out, like I'll do you want me to like get?
Yeah, I would love that. I need specifics. Don't just give me this overreaching, bland, oh, he talks about Mexicans. Okay, well, what did he say? What exactly did he say? Don't paraphrase. What exactly did he say? I'm sure there's a video of it. Everybody has cameras, so let me see the video. Let me actually hear the audio of what he actually said. Not something that's been edited and clipped out, because mainstream media is really, really good at that. I think that's BS that people even attempt to do stuff like that. It's just so dishonest, and it shows why these mainstream media companies' ratings are terrible.
Quotes out.
I want you. If you think someone's racist, you should be able to back that up and say,
that's what I was about to say. Here's the thing. I think it's 100% okay.
You're being rude to him.
If you think he's racist, that's 100% okay. Like, I can think you're a racist, and that's fine. But I'm not going to go out there and blast you as a racist and try to just spread these opinions, basically. I mean, there's no room for that to be had on both sides. So.
What do you mean I'm not allowed to spread my opinion? That's like the whole point of it.
I didn't say that. I said you're not allowed to basically slander him and call him a racist when, that's just your opinion that he's a racist.
If you can back it up.
Okay, do you want me to find stuff to back it up? Because I just don't know it off the top of my head, but I'll find it if you want me to.
If you don't know it off the top of your head, why are you calling him a racist?
Why would I know specific quotes off the top of my head?
Because that's a serious allegation. If I were to call you a pedo, you guys know the word that I actually want to say, but I can't because, YouTube. You would hope that I would have some evidence to back it up, right? It wouldn't be right if I just came out and just start calling you that. It's common sense. But as you guys have said, common sense is no longer common, and that's unfortunate.
You're gonna call someone a racist.
Quotes from all of his speeches off the top of your head?
I don't call him a racist.
Do you? Give me some right now.
I don't call him a racist, though. You are making that accusation that he's a racist. Back it up.
By that logic, if you're saying he's not a racist, give me to back up why he's not a racist. You're making
Joe Biden's a racist?
What?
You think Joe Biden's racist?
I don't think that this is about Joe Biden right now.
When Joe Biden said, like, what did he say? Something about all these, like, poor kids being just as bright as, what did he say? You know the quote,
He said that poor kids are just as bright as white kids, insinuating he believes black people are poor. He is Donald Trump. You want proof that Donald Trump isn't a racist? He has raised wages for black Americans, specifically black women. 71% of the working black women are white-collar workers. That's not hard labor. That's high-paying office jobs that they are getting a good wage for. He also lowered the corporate tax rate to 21%. Under President Obama and Joe Biden, it was doubled that, and that helps all communities, including black people. He also increased annual funding to historically black colleges and universities by 25%, $250 million more dollars annually to black colleges. If he were a racist, why would he do that?
I don't think that the conversation about whether or not Trump is racist should involve other candidates and other things. I think that I understand why you're here is to, Biden versus Trump, who's better. But I personally don't completely endorse Joe Biden and think that he's the best candidate for the job. But, personally, but I don't think that in the conversation with, oh, this person's a racist, it shouldn't be, well, this person's also racist, or this person, which is a little bit, you have to admit, it's a little, well, that is what you said.
No, we did not say Joe Biden is also racist.
So here's the thing.
They said it, they mentioned it at the very beginning, but then they went into all of the reasons why Trump isn't, and she just completely ignored it. It just went in one ear and out the other, and she focused on the first part that she felt like she could possibly win the argument on. Interesting, huh?
Joe Biden do it is you said you want quotes from Trump's speech. I brought up a Joe Biden quote that seems clearly racist, but I'm not calling him a racist, is it?
We're not talking about Joe Biden, which is the point of this. Like, I understand what you're trying.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying, but that's okay. My point is that just because
She literally does not get it. Does that make sense to everybody else? Is there a clear reason why she should be confused right now? Let me know in the comment section. I think what he is saying is very, very clear. But, hey.
Says something, and maybe it's a slip-up, maybe it's not. They're not immediately racist.
Just because someone says something racist doesn't mean they're racist. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying actions speak louder than words, and have you seen what Trump has done?
Well, I'm saying actions also speak louder than words.
Actions speak louder than words. Have you seen what Trump has done?
Have you seen what Trump has done?
Have you not also seen how he's spoken about these protests that are about black people?
Come back here. Come back. So loud that we can't talk and have a real conversation.
I understand
That's
what
the
you're
issue.
saying, but also I think that his actions and his words surrounding like the Black Lives Matter protests, even the ones that aren't violent, speak very loudly to how he feels about this entire movement. When people were protesting outside of gyms with rifles, with guns, no masks on, he was calling them patriots, he was calling them heroes. But when people are protesting actual issues like the lives of millions of Americans, like his tone of voice like absolutely changes, and you have to admit that. Like it's not.
Everybody who open carried, whenever they protest, what did they destroy anything? Did they destroy anything or any lives?
That was one of the immediate things that came to my head. But let's see what else he has to say.
Lives lost? Did anything like that happen with those protests?
I think the riots are completely different than the protests. I'm talking about the protests.
If that's the case, if we're talking peaceful protest to peaceful protest, I don't think Trump's necessarily talking about peaceful protests. If he is, then call me out on it. I might be wrong, but I don't think that's what he's doing.
Well, I just think that you can definitely tell his tone changes when he's talking about white Americans fighting for something they want versus Americans of color and Americans who like might be minorities and all that.
Didn't she just say that she agreed with actions speak louder than words, and now she's talking about tone? My goodness, this stuff is ridiculous.
But I have to ask.
I have to wait. I'm sorry if I can interrupt you really quick. You said that you came here to get different people's opinions. I feel like and I'm leaving right after this because I'm kind of like tired of this conversation, but I think literally what you're doing is trying to get people to say a different opinion than you just so you can attack them and make them think like they're wrong, which I don't think is okay. You're not enabling a full discussion. You're throwing your opinion, and you can shake your head and nod like you don't.
I'm not enabling.
What this young lady is saying makes zero sense. She's saying that she's throwing her opinion out, but isn't the young lady doing the same thing? Isn't that how you have a conversation? This isn't an echo chamber. I think that's what she wants. But y'all let me know in the comment section. Y'all let me know.
Speaking, you're throwing your opinion, and you can shake your head and nod like you don't know.
I'm not enabling a full discussion when these people have been shouting to remove me from campus, shouting you down, shouting a discussion between you two down, but I'm not enabling a full discussion?
I thought this was very civil.
It was.
I fully respect you. I don't care what your political beliefs are. As a person, I respect you. It's as simple as that.
Animosity here. I just think like the way you're maneuvering this conversation is just a little bit like to fit your benefit and like fit your narrative, and like the way you're shaking your head like you're patronizing.
Because like I am patronizing you because these people have been screaming for the police to remove me from campus, and you accuse me, shush, and then you keep interrupting me, and then you accuse me of not enabling a discussion. I told you to come over here for a discussion. I asked you, do you want to have a discussion with someone and myself? I am enabling discussion. These people have been trying to get the cops to remove me. I'm going to laugh at your accusation that I'm the one trying to stifle free speech and not have a real discussion.
Yeah, that is craziness. She literally just gave you the perfect example right there in your face, and yet you still deny it. There are people standing there yelling for the police to come remove her so that she is not allowed to speak. She asked the Puerto Rican young lady, hey, are you willing to come and speak with us? This gentleman here and myself, are you willing to come over here and speak with us? We can't speak over there because they're shouting and screaming, and I don't want to cause anything. Granted, she does have security, which shout out to Caitlin. Smart move, people are crazy out here in these streets. We've seen that. So how is she not enabling speech?
You've been throwing things at me instead of asking me, like you've been like, okay, well, did you know this, and this, and that's what I'm
Did you know it?
Yes, I read the news. Like
you knew that Trump increased annual spending to HBCUs, and you still called him a racist.
Yes, because I still think, regardless of what you do, there's certain things you have to do as a president, regardless of whether or not you actually care about the people you're doing it for. Do you think any president actually cares about the lower class? No, they have to try and help them because that's their job.
I just want proof that he's racist.
Okay, and I tried to find it, and you told me to be in the moment and respect him while I was talking.
That's the issue. If you're calling someone racist, back it up. That's all I'm saying.
Well, thank you so much for this discussion. It was so nice to meet you, Sloan. Mel.
Mel? Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you. I appreciate the discussion.
Absolutely.
Oh, she messed up. She shook his hand there at the end.
She didn't want to shake our hands earlier. All right, well, thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope
he noticed it too.
Everything goes well. Take care.
To watch that interaction, innocent.
So, once again, shout out to Caitlin. Like I said, make sure you guys go check her out. Show her some love. Let her know we appreciate her. But very interesting and frustrating discussion there, to say the least. Did anybody else find it that way? Listen, if I'm just an idiot, please let me know. Do not tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what I need to hear. Okay? There's a huge difference between telling someone what they want to hear and telling someone what they need to hear. Tell me what I need to hear. So if I'm wrong about this entire conversation, please let me know. But that was just some of the most ignorant stuff. And look at them with their phones out. Oh, I'm going to record her. I'm going to post her on social media, on the Twitter and everything. And I'm going to call her the R word. Oh, wow. Interessante, huh? It's crazy how all this works. People want to use their right to free speech to take away someone else's right to free speech simply because they don't like them and they're the R word. Ooh. Goes back to the Lion King thing. Mufasa. Ooh. Mufasa. Ooh. This stuff is I was gonna say it's child's play, but a lot of these people are kids, so I mean that would have fit. I stopped myself in the moment right before I said I was gonna say this is child's play, and then I thought about it. Well, this is a college campus, so they are kids, and it shows. It really does, and I think one day a good portion of them will finally open their eyes, and hopefully by the time that happens, it is not too late. Hopefully. Because we've watched videos of individuals from other countries. Venezuela, I think, was one example, where individuals coming from there said they lied to us. They told us everything we wanted to hear, just like they're doing in the U.S. and now we regret it. Look how we're living. So hopefully they open their eyes before it's too late, because there won't be any room for I told you so's. It'll basically be pointless at that point. But as always, y'all let me know what you thought about all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.